The jungle had a way of making silence feel heavy, not quiet, heavy. Leaves hung thick above the canopy. Vines twisted like coiled muscle. The air smelled of wet earth and old rain. Somewhere far away, a creature screamed, then stopped, as if even the jungle itself knew when to stay quiet. Elias walked alone. He always walked alone. His boots were worn. His jacket patched too many times to count. A rifle rested on his shoulder, more tool than weapon now. He was not a soldier anymore. Not officially. Not since the colony fell and the evacuation ships never came back. People said the jungle killed you. Fast they were wrong. It let you live long enough to feel. Forgotten, Elias had been surviving here for 3 years, maybe more. Time blurred when there was no one left to count it with you. He hunted small game. He avoided the ruins. He avoided memories even harder. Then he heard the sound. Metal, not the creak of trees or the snap of branches. Not the hiss of insects, metal scraping against stone. Elias froze. Slowly he crouched and moved forward. Each step careful. Each breath measured. He parted the leaves and saw something that made his heart stutter. Chains, dot thick, industrial, dug into the ground with steel anchors. They were old but maintained. Someone had cared enough to keep them strong, and at the center of them was a giant orc woman. She was massive, taller than any human Elias had ever seen. Even on her knees, she stood higher than a man. Her skin was deep green, scarred and marked with old wounds. Her muscles were corded and powerful, even through exhaustion. Iron cuffs locked around her wrists and ankles. Runes glowed faintly along the metal, suppressing her strength. She was not sleeping. She was waiting. Her eyes lifted slowly and locked onto him, gold, sharp, ancient. Elias raised his rifle by instinct, then stopped himself. She did not lunge. She did not roar. She simply watched. Him, for a long moment, neither of them moved. Then she spoke. Her voice was rough, deep, controlled. With effort, human, no threat, no plea, just a fact. Elias swallowed. Yeah, that's me. Her gaze drifted over him. The patched clothes, the scars, the tired posture of someone who had stopped hoping a long time ago. You are alone, she said. So are you, Elias replied. Something flickered in her eyes. Surprise, maybe, or amusement. He lowered the rifle and slung it over his shoulder. Slowly, clearly, he took a step closer. Who did this to you? She did not answer right away. The small ones, she finally said. The clever ones. They feared what they could not break. Elias had heard stories. Slavers, alien syndicates that hunted strong species and sold them to warlords and collectors. Orcs were prized. Dangerous, proud. This one had been chained like an animal. How long? He asked. She looked away. Long enough. The jungle hummed around them. Elias stared at the chains, at the runes. He knew enough tech to recognize suppression fields. Breaking them would not be easy. You free me, she said calmly, and I will kill you last. Elias snorted before he could stop himself. She blinked. That's the worst threat I've heard all year, he said. And trust me, I've heard a lot. She stared at him like she was reassessing a puzzle. Why are you not afraid? She asked. He shrugged. Everyone I cared about is already dead. You can't really scare someone like that. Silence stretched between them. Then she said something unexpected. Leave. He frowned. What? Leave, she repeated. The chains are trapped. They will call my captors. They will come. You will die, probably, Elias said. But you'll stay chained, and I'm tired of walking away. He knelt near the anchor point, ran his fingers over the metal. The runes pulsed faintly under his touch. You shouldn't, she said. Yeah, he replied. I hear that a lot. It took hours. Sweat soaked his clothes. His hands bled. He scavenged power cells from his pack, used tools he had repaired a dozen times already. The jungle grew darker as the sun lowered. At one point the orc woman spoke again. Why? She asked. Elias did not look up. Because no one came back for me. Either the last rune shattered with a sharp crack. The jungle seemed to inhale. The chains went dead. For a heartbeat nothing happened. Then the orc woman stood. The ground trembled. Trees shook. She rolled her shoulders, and the cuffs fell away like dead weight. Her presence filled the clearing, powerful and terrifying and alive. Elias backed up slowly. She looked down at him. He waited for death instead. She knelt, her massive form lowered until her eyes were level with his. She placed a fist against her chest. I am Kaza of the Stonebound, she said. You have freed me. Elias blinked. Okay, her lips twitched. That was not the response I expected. Sorry, he said. I'm not great at dramatic moments. She studied him again. Longer this time, not as prey, not as a threat, as something else. You are broken, she said quietly. He shrugged. Working on it. The slavers came at dawn. Hovercraft tore through the tree line. Drones screamed overhead. Armed figures poured into the clearing. Weapons raised, confident and careless. They stopped when they saw the chains empty. Then they saw her. Kaza stepped forward, unarmed, unarmored, smiling. What followed was not a battle. It was a lesson. Elias watched from cover as she moved like a force of nature. She tore metal apart with bare hands. She hurled vehicles like toys. Suppression rounds shattered against her skin. Fear spread faster than gunfire. The slavers broke. They always did when it was over. The jungle was quiet again. Kaza returned to Elias. Blood streaked her arms, but none of it was hers. You could have fled, she said. I did the math, Elias replied. Didn't like the odds. She laughed. A deep sound that rolled through the trees. You are strange, human. Being called worse. They traveled together after that. At first it was practical. Safety in numbers. Shared skills. Elias taught her how to navigate human tech. She taught him how to listen to the jungle. But something else grew between them. Trust, one night. By the fire, Kaza spoke of her people. Of honor, of strength, used to protect, not dominate. Of how the galaxy feared orcs and never bothered to understand them. Elias spoke of Earth, of colonies, of promises that never came true. You did not abandon hope, she said. I did, Elias replied. I just kept breathing anyway. She reached out, hesitant, careful. Her massive hand rested lightly on his shoulder. That, she said, is strength. Word spread, a human and a giant orc, walking together, helping settlements, driving off raiders, refusing payment, refusing titles. People started calling them monsters. Others called them heroes. Kaza only laughed one evening. as they watched the sun sink through the trees. She spoke softly. "When you freed me," she said, "I thought you were a fool." "Fair," Elias said. "Now I know," she continued, "that you are something rarer." "What's that?" She looked at him, gold eyes warm. "A human who remembers how to be kind." Elias smiled in a galaxy that chained monsters and abandoned its own. One lonely man had made a different choice, and the universe felt it. Asterisk.